Let's take the clock back 24 hours, shall we? Saturday qualifying at the Wastelands. Jimmy Nelson out in front of Teddy Mayer. MX2 qualifier 1. These guys went at it head-to-head, but Jimmy Nelson took the win in 5 points, setting up the season rivalry. MX2 qualifier 2, Kyle Beaton. Oh my goodness, was that kid on the gas. But the big battle was for second, Eric Nye, and number 32, Kevin Johnson, formerly of Team Fate. Dusty Cloud in MX1 was all about it through the whoops. That guy can do no wrong. Huge battle brewing right behind him between number 4, Keith Johnson, coming back from the broken leg, and number 24, Marco Dube. Then there was the crash. Hollywood Holman's going down. Jeremiah Israel checking the wrist. Oh, and then Montes gets his ankle run over by Jay Burke. That one had to hurt. Number 15, Michael Willard, East Coast specialist, just about busts his ankle coming into that rhythm section on KJ, Albuquerque Keith. Oh, and then the bulldozer stuffs Drew Clegg coming into the rhythm section like that Drew Clegg kid into the MX1 qualifier 2. Waugh got a great start, but then hometown boy Darcy Lange was on his heels. Waugh with an uncharacteristic mistake in the whoops, and Darcy Lange takes the 5 points and the qualifier win. They call this track the Wastelands. Cut into the side of a mountain, nestled on the shores of the Straits of Georgia, in the beautiful city of Nanaimo, British Columbia. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is round 3 of the 2006 Canadian Motocross Championships. Mark Travers and Brian Coster. Brian, we have ourselves a battle royale in MX1, my friend, and I'm peaking. I love it.
We haven't seen Waugh coming back from a deficit coming into round 3 ever. Klatt is taking control of the moto wins. Got a 4-point lead coming into round 3. Darcy Lange would be right there had it not been for an engine failure at Gopher Dunes. It's about 30 points back. All it takes is one failure or moto DNF for Waugh or Klatt. Darcy will make that a 3-way battle. Then further down, we've got guys like Morgan, we've got Graysick, we got Keast. There's a whole log jam just back from our top 2. So a wicked, wicked way to start the series.
And you know, Waugh's gonna have his hands full today, Brian, because Klatt and Lange are extremely fast on this track, and they've both beaten him here, so there's no problem with that.
Exactly,
Let's get into MX2 West, a brand new series starting out the West here today, and there's about 6 guys on the track yesterday that I thought were extremely fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna start, my favorite's Beaton. Then we've got some fast Americans with Eric Nye on a KTM, Michael Sleater as well on a KTM. He's a test rider for KTM USA, developing the 07 bikes right now. Also a rider for Trans World Motocross Magazine. Really cool to have him up. But it's Jimmy Nelson, that's the story on the Blackfoot Honda. He was ripping yesterday. He won his qualifier, battling with Teddy Mayer, who finished 3rd last year in this title chase, and Jeff Northrup, who finished 2nd. Northrup now on a Suzuki.
MX2 West, a great way to start off the season here in Nanaimo. The racing's gonna be fantastic. The track is super fast. Hang on.
After 2 of 9 rounds, here in Nanaimo, Klatt has a slim lead over Waugh. And look at the battle throughout the top 10. It is gonna be intense here today.
Okay, Brian, they call this track the Wastelands, a veritable highway, but there's a couple things gonna have to keep the riders on their toes. Talk to us about it.
Well, yeah, it's a hard shale base. You don't want to crash out here in this stuff because it will skin the elbows bad. There is some nice loamy dirt here that's kind of sprinkled around, but it is just riddled with rocks. And look at the shale underneath. The roost is a painful factor on this track. Jump faces, though, stay nice all day long. Get some pretty good grooves in the corners, too, when she's watered all up nice. Always a fast, exciting racetrack. Lots of lines coming in the corners. But roost is going to be the painful factor. You can't follow on this track. And also, once these ruts kind of get hard, if you're not in a perfect position, they can high side you in a jiffy.
All right, let's get out of the track with the Cuz and Milo Christie. Go, Brian.
Milo Christie on the 450 RMZ. This is just after the start chute. This is a split course here. Milo takes the high line. There's a smooth low line. Love this jump because you can just pin it and a real gentle landing. Nice technique here. Feet on the pegs, kind of drift wide. You can go inside to outside to carry your speed. Big choppy braking bumps form here, and the crowd on the outside goes nuts. Into the back forest rhythm section. Milo here on Sunday morning with all the camera equipment, not jumping those table to table or fully clearing each table. So a lot of different techniques there, a very pivotal part of Nanaimo. Another sweet shoot here into a 180. Wide track in the corners here, so there is passing opportunities, though you do have to be bonsai on the brakes. Not uncommon for contact to be made to pass here. They added that little chicane we just saw last year. That's where Klatt was making all kinds of dynamite, high-speed, hairy passes on the outside, but they thought they needed to slow it down. It was just a little too scary for the faint at heart. Milo on the gas, loving this part here, zigzag into the roller section. Kind of some staggered rollers here, right into the big FMF sweeper. And the creme de la creme on this track, the nasty whoops, a focal point for the riders and a controversy all the way around.
Okay, nice job, Brian. Here we go with Kyle Beaton's number 33 getting on the line. First MX2 Moto coming up. Definitely the fan favorite coming into the MX2 West Championship, number 33, Kyle Beaton. It is time to put on a beating. Kyle, you ready?
Yeah, you know, this season's gone well. Leading up to it, I was down in California for 3.5 months testing and training, so hopefully all my hard work and effort has gone in and it'll pay off here today.
Okay, boys, let's get them fired up. First, MX2 West Moto. This one will be brought to you by Don Joy Knee Bracing. Brian Coster and Mark Travers in the booth. Oh, I love starting out in the West, Brian. There's Rockin' Randy Hall. The 30 board is up. Great shot of the boys on the right-hand side of the line. Remember the start, Brian. High-speed chicane up to the bridge.
The Frankenstein board goes to 5. Concrete starting pad here. The boys get their weight back to get a drive. And it looks like number 42, yes, it's Jimmy Nelson with the Royals Distributing hole shot.
Looking back in the pack, we got number 28, Teddy Mayer on that Kawasaki in second, Norcal Jeff Northrup in third, and Kevin Johnson in fourth as they go into that right hand.
Yeah, that's right. Mayer got third last year in the overall West standings, and Northrup got second, so some of the usual players running up front. We do not see Kyle Beaton. There's Kyle Beaton. A horrible start, Mark. Just inside the top 20. So we're going to see what he is made of here today.
He was very fast on this track last year. Look at that Mayer on the outside with a great line. Wow. Rockers, and he takes over the lead, Brian. Talk about Supercross experience helping him here in the outdoors.
Oh, and he just hacked Nelson's line right off. He has a look and cuts over again. I just love the fierce competitive spirit that resides within Teddy Mayer. He is all about victory, and he will not settle for less, and it shows in his riding.
A very quiet young man, but I tell you what, you get him out on this track especially, and he is lightning fast, taking over the lead. Back to Kyle Beaton, now in 15th place. Again, Brian, he has got his work cut out for him if he wants to get up that top 5 and get some points.
I tell you, he is on a tear right now in the crouch position. He's just a little guy, so he really gets some speed out of the corners on that Yamaha 250F. But the war to watch right now is for the lead, Travis, in the FMF corner. Nelson. Oh, Nelson was gentle with him there. He could have taken him right to the edge of the track.
And again, Mayer on the outside. Remember, Brian, these whips this year are a little different. More like Supercross last year. They were jumping in and doubling and tripling out.
Yeah, a lot of the riders upset that these rockers are so hard, or the whoops so hard and difficult this year. They can't get a rhythm as much, and towards the end of the moto, it gets very tiring. 5:14, Eric Nye having a peek on Johnson right in front of him. Oh, Johnson gets the big launch. Gains a position right there, passes Norcal. That puts Johnson in fourth. Norcal in trouble to the FMF. Feel the power cam, and our leaders blasting through the whoops, Travs. A cool shot.
To the battle for 6th, number 176, Andrew Boleyn. Privateer BC boy, number 916, Yankee. That's Gray Davenport.
What a great battle these guys are having. Boleyn, a local boy. Davenport out of Utah.
Oh no,
our leader, Teddy Mayer. He's done this before. Just loses his concentration slightly. I'll tell you what, nobody goes as fast as Teddy Mayer when he's following. Once he gets the lead, I think he tightens up a bit. Oh, what a terrible mistake. Now he's in trouble from number 181, Michael Sleater out of Southern California, Travs, the Trans World Motocross test rider.
Sleater on that Royal Distributing KTM as they come around that right-hander into the rhythm section. Nice lines for Sleater. He's a great Supercross rider, looking good in the outdoors. Does he have second place? Not yet. Not yet, Brian. There are options coming into these corners. And I love Mayor's defense, but look at Sleater on the inside as he busts his way into second.
Teddy got a little cross-rutted there, jumped out of one rut, skipped into another, definitely lost a couple milliseconds, just enough for Sleater to get the pass. Now back to the battle for fourth. Loving Johnson's line on the inside, but 514 Eric Knight gets that power down on the outside where the soil is really rich, just gets a little bit of a better drive.
Into the whoops we go. Both Supercross specialists here. Number 181, Sleater. Look at the line from Mayor on the inside. Oh, as they blow by the camera and get in underneath the bridge. Great lines through there, Brian.
That is a war right now. Now Jimmy Nelson on the Honda Blackfoot Fox machine has a bit of breathing room. And Jimmy's still riding hard. He looked over there. He knows where his competition is. Landing with the foot out. Oh, that style.
Jimmy is always about the English on the bike. No doubt about it. Taking that bike all the way through its paces as we get back to the battle for second. Sleater on the inside. Oh, no! The front wheel slips out on him, and he goes down. Teddy Mayer into second.
Man, Sleater, get up. Look, it looks like he kept it running. No, he didn't. He's got to kick it. He's finding neutral. Very important to get these motorcycles in neutral, or they will not start unless you have a downhill and bump start it.
Back to the battle for sixth place. That's 176 Boleyn on the inside, going outside. Davenport, oh, very gentle as they come through that FMF corner into the rollers, Brian. I must stress, both of these guys are privateers, and Davenport doesn't even have a mechanic this weekend.
Good point. He came up with his buddy Richie Como, number 711 on a KTM, and they both qualified. Here is the battle for eighth right now. That is number 25, Jeff Northrup, and he is under pressure from Kyle Beaton right now. Beaton does the jump. Northrup, 4 weeks to the day from a broken collarbone, so full marks for him, soldier points all the way.
Kyle Beaton coming back from a terrible start, now moving his way up into the top 10, Brian, as we get back to number 32. Let's go. Oh my gosh, did he bang his chin off of that little section?
Man.
And it looks like number 916, Gray Davenport, gets by. Holy snap, Brian, he really cracked his neck off of that.
Man, yes, he's slowing right down on that Toyota Yamaha. That is the Morgan International team. He has definitely taken some wind out of his sails there, Travs.
We get back to our leader, number 42, Jimmy Nelson on that Blackfoot Fox Honda. Looking great right now, Brian, out in first place. To the battle for sixth, Kyle Beaton moving up on Kevin Johnson, who looks like he's back in the mix after that banger off the crossbar pad. Inside line for Beaton through the OGO corner. Does he have sixth? Yes, he does. But great to see Johnson back in the race.
You got that right. He looks A-OK right now. Number 145 on the Honda, Brock Hoyer. He's picked up a hay bale cover. He just made a pass on Northrup, and he is in 8th place. And he is a local BC boy, Travs. Pretty sweet right there. Oh, 901. That's Clegg on the only 2-stroke in the field. Boy, oh boy, that was a gnarly face plant.
Just shows how slick this track is, Brian. How about this? Kyle Beaton has now made his way up to 5th place as he gets by Andrew Boleyn. Kyle Beaton is fast on this track, Brian. We saw him last year make a whole bunch of moves in that second moto. He's doing it here.
Man, he has just been on an absolute tear on that Yamaha, just peeling his way through the pack. A great ride. Jimmy Nelson, our leader, on cruise control right now. He's got the arm in the air. He knows this moto is his. The first race of the year, the MX2 West Travers. He takes her in style.
The first time Jimmy Nelson has tasted victory up here in a few seasons, Brian. You know he's got to be on top of the world. All right, let's go to our top 10 from the first MX2 Moto. How about Eric Nye with a quiet third? Privateer Davenport in 4th, but very impressed with Boleyn and Hoyer, 2 BC boys, making it into the top 10.
It must feel good to get that win.
Oh, it feels so good. I worked my butt off this year. I mean, I think a lot of people kind of wrote me off after last year, but Blackfoot gave me a chance, and I'm so happy, so thankful for that. And I think I delivered on the first moto, so hopefully we can do the same thing the next moto.
Second place finisher, Teddy Mayer. Man, oh man, looks like you were gaining on Nelson towards the end of that moto.
Yeah, I was feeling good. I just came in that corner a little too hard, and I hit a kicker, and I kicked my back end up, and I was on my front brake, and I just exploded the rut. I went down, and I kind of got tight after that. After I crashed, and I tried catching him, but the lappers kind of got in the way, and I rode pretty good. So hopefully I can get him that next moto.
I feel really good for a podium. My first race up here in Canada, first moto. I'm really happy. You know, I didn't get the greatest start, but I worked my way up into 3rd. I had a little trouble getting by a few guys, but I'm definitely pretty happy.
An awesome moto. The riders' concerns have been met here on the whoops. The last 3 are made a bit smaller, so hopefully no more whining.
I just take it race by race, and hopefully the championship comes around. And as long as I'm on the box, I'm happy. And I'd like to come out with a win and win the championship, but I mean it's gonna be tough, and I'm sure JSR is not gonna let it up that easy.
It's time for the big boys. Brian Rockin' Randy Hall with the 30 board up. In this first MX1 Moto will be brought to you by MX Performance Magazine, the #1 motocross magazine in Canada. There's the boys on the line. A couple of holes there, Brian, as they get their tires up to temperature.
Here we go to 5. A great shot on top of the box. A clat. That's Chuck Mesley, Darcy Lange, and Marco Dubé. And they're off.
Great start from number 9, Dusty Klein. Oh, as he rockets forward and gets the Royal Distributing hole. Shot. He's up in front. How about number 22, Jay Burke on that Morgan Toyota Yamaha in second place.
Great start for Burke. Whoa, 8:31. Drew Clegg getting all squirrely up the infield.
He was in third, Brian, when he went off the track there, so a great start for him. But look at the lead that number 9, Dusty Klein, has already.
He has amassed a big gap here. We are not even a quarter of the way around. Look at him ride that bike and just doing that Bubba scrub in his own clat style. Now, there you go, 22, Jay Burke on the 450 Yamaha. Darcy lands in tow through the rhythm section. Darcy jumps.
Whoa, look out.
Whoa, just lands on the edge of the track. You can see that tire and corner marker right there. So a hair-raising pass by number 330, and that is the Arena Cross champion, Darcy Lange.
A hometown boy loving this track, but you got to get up early, Brian, because it's a fast track. If Lange wants to keep pace with Klatt, who already has a 2-3 second lead, you better believe he's got to make it happen. How about the start for number 62, Ian Hayden, as John Sebastian Waugh moves past him as the boys funnel through that left-hander.
Number 22, Jay Burke, under pressure. Burke, an MX2 East Coast rider, coming off a torn PCL ligament in his knee. All about just getting some time on the bike, and look at him right here getting schooled by John Sebastian Waugh. You can't put a price tag on this education.
Super rough coming into that corner, though, Brian, the way the bikes were skipping back and forth, but Waugh had a great line coming to those whoops. You saw how fast it was. How about this little package here? We got number 2, Gavin Graysick, number 62, Ian Hayden, and here comes Doob Doob on the outside.
Marco Dubé is riding spectacular. Takes care of teammate Hayden. Big fishtail by Graysick. He manages to hold Dubé at bay for now. And look at this. Toyota Yamaha rider all alone in third. But Dubé makes a huge charge on Graysick. Travels up the back straight. And this is the Marco Dubé of old.
Marco Dubé, a healthy Marco Dubé, is a rider's nemesis. Tough to pass. That guy will never give up. As we get back to our leader, number 9, Dusty Klatt, who is carrying so much speed through the corners, Brian. And whoa, little moment through the whoops there, Brian. And he was one of the riders that was not saying anything about the whoops.
No, he's from out here. He's not complaining about the whoop section. It's a part of the track. Dubé loves the outside lines. This is for 6th place. Trying every option on Burke right now. But Graysick's right there. Oh, and a heads up move by Graysick. Right up the inside. Dubé got forced wide by Burke. And the door just opened up for Graysick. What a heads up pass by Gavin.
Number 16, Colton Fasciati, coming back from a tough weekend at the Gopher Dunes as he gets by Hayden for 8th place. He's fast on this track, Brian, especially on that big bike. And there is the champ, currently in third, Brian, looking very smooth, coming into that FMF corner into the rollers.
The champ with that magical riding style. He is nursing a sore shoulder sustained at Southwick, but sure looks on the gas here in Nanaimo today.
Jay Burke now under pressure for number 6, Simon Homans, and number 16, Colton Fasciati, coming through that FMF right-hander into the rollers. Let's check out the lines. Burke tentative, Simon Homans on the gas, but he's squirrely, and here comes Fasciati.
Homans skips all over, regains composure, but no, Fasciati gets that Richmond Kawasaki power to the ground. And Colt has a lot of laps here, but I'll tell you what, he is riding so strong as of late, loving it.
Back to the rollers, number 111, that's Albuquerque Keith, with number 62, Eden Hayden behind him. And here comes KJ Keith Johnson coming back from that broken leg. Both our Johnsons were injured, Brian. They're looking good right now. And here's Marco Dubé under heavy pressure from number 16, Colton Fetchody.
Watch Dubé. He uses all the track. He loves those outside lines. He does not care if he overjumps stuff. He just pins it. Oh, he hits a bit of a rock there, loses his back end. Just enough for Fasciati to get the pass.
To 10th place in a pair of Johnsons, we've got KJ on the inside and Albuquerque Keith on the outside. Look at the body Johnny English as they crisscross going into that sweeper section.
It's so funny, those guys got the exact same name. Now, that is Ryan Lockhart up the inside. Ooh, gets aggressive and stuffs Blair Morgan. Both having terrible starts. That is 13th, but he has got eyes right now on Mesley and Burke, and he gets a little off balance there.
Just hanging on. There comes Kyle Keith, the bulldozer, and number 15. That's Michael Willard, Jeremy Israel, and Ian Hayden back to third place. Uh-oh, look out, Lange. That's actually second place, and John Sebastian Waugh in third. Watch the lines, Brian. There are options coming to this corner. Bit of a freight train. Waugh carrying speed. Look out for the kicker. Up over the saddle jump, Brian, and Lange is looking good.
Lange kind of crosses in front of John's path there. That is what a racer does. Make it very difficult for the pass to occur. Oh, Darcy left the door open just a little bit there, but John, oh man, he's riding good. Just watch him out there. He's awesome.
They carry so much speed through that straightaway, and then he gets rough with those braking bumps coming to the corner, and he wanted that inside line. Here we are with that 12th place package. We got Mesley, we've got Morgan, and Lockhart's falling back one. Look out, Blair Morgan's on a tear.
These guys have just been pounding each other the whole moto, and an aggressive move by Blair makes Mesley kind of have to paddle there so he didn't tip over, and now Lockhart's all squirrely in the whoops, and you know, coming in, Lockhart was hating those whoops.
Blair Morgan and Chuck Mesley have been finding each other in every single moto. I'd like to see Chuck Mesley up in this big boy class. That's where he belongs. He knows how to ride that big bike, and again, coming off that broken leg from last year, and here comes the dozer.
Kyle Keith there makes the fourth. Lockhart goes down, but I love your comment, Travis. It's so true. Mesley and Morgan always seeming to lock bars. Back to our leader. He is on a mission here in Nanaimo with a huge lead. He's got about 18 seconds right now, and he's lapping his teammate Blair Morgan. So an incredible moto by Dusty Klatt. He is on fire.
The battle for 14th, a pair of Machine Racing Hondas. The first time we've seen the Machine team out west in a while. And Keith goes in. Oh, and he gets hung up on that same corner that Ryan Lockhart did.
Lockhart could have upset the groove there and knocked some clumps of dirt in there just enough to skip the front wheel. And I tell you what, they are motoring through that section. It's hard to really see the speed on TV, but I tell you what, they got those 450s just singing around there.
For 16th, as Ian Hayden gets by Jay Burke, a couple of East Coast specialists coming out getting some time on that West Coast tracks. Love to see that, Brian.
Very impressed with Hayden so far. Albuquerque Keith gets all squirrely. Coming into this Yamaha sweeper, Blair Morgan tucks up the inside. That puts him in the top 10 position right now. I tell you, Morgan had a terrible start, and he's ridden very strong here today.
And impressed with Albuquerque Keith Johnson, too. Broken leg, twisted up knee. That guy's coming back. Missed the first 2 rounds. Looks good right now as John Sebastian Waugh gets his last lap flag. Number 9, Dusty Klatt, his teammate, on his final approach in first place, Brian. Let's start to talk about a little bit of domination in the MX1 class. Dusty Klatt is laying down some smack.
He was a favorite coming in because he won here last year. A runaway win for the Blackfoot Honda pilot.
Oh, who doesn't like to be out on Vancouver Island on the west coast of Canada? It is the place to be. Let's get to our leaderboard. First MX1 Moto. Let's drop down to 4th with Fat Jody with a great ride. Grayson Kandube going 5-6. Holman's in 7th. And Blair Morgan in 9th. And Matt Barnes in 10th. Okay, fabulous round 3 of the Women's Nationals here at the Wastelands. A couple of new faces out there. Number 122, Missy Hackett, was fast as lightning, and so was Mallory Prock-Navy. Those guys were going at it.
Look at the speed that Jolene carries through there, too, number 63 on the Ocean Suzuki. But number 122, Missy Hackett, she was styling big time all day. And there's one of those Cheru girls just hanging it out.
She had a huge crash in the second moto, but the story, Brian, was number 18, Mallory Prock-Navy, and 122, Missy Hackett. Hackett actually got docked 5 positions for jumping on a yellow in the first moto. Mallory Prock-Navy takes the win.
There's one of the other Cheru girls, 17 and 19, and they are fast. Mallory takes the win, and there's Jessica Foster. She ended up going 3rd overall, and she just got back from racing in Europe and Hangtown in the USA.
Camille Baker with a good run. That was number 34 in the Kawasaki. Jolene Van Dude and Mallory Prock-Navy was hot with both moto wins in the clean sweep, Brian. All right, to the freestyle session. Woohoo! This is Benoit Milo and a little bit of invasion coming up, and we have Faceless Tomorrow with a little black and white.
Oh, I love that crash.
Davenport, number 25 this year, is Jeff Northrup. They call him NorCal. Finished second overall last year in the MX2 Western Championship. You're back. You're on a new team. Tell us about how it went from green to yellow.
Yeah, well, I was on Kawasaki for a while, and, you know, things went for a little bit of a change, and it's definitely for the better. Now I'm on with Andre Lawn with the OTSFF team, Suzuki, and it's a new color, it's a new look, and a new attitude. So hopefully, you know, I go out there and I want to push it as much as I can this year. And fortunately, coming in, I had a little bit of an injury, so I'm not 100% like I'd like to be, but we're going to muscle it out.
NorCal, the original, one of the colorful characters up here racing motocross in Canada. This is the Wastelands. Brian Coster in the third round of the 2006 Canadian Motocross Championship, but the first round of the MX2 West. And this second MX2 West Moto will be brought to you by the fine people at No Fear Gear with Rockin' Randy Hall up to 30.
Good shot of the boys on the line. Right now, the nerves are starting to tighten up. The adrenaline is starting to flow. Beautiful launch pad here in Nanaimo. They've done so much work on this track. Just a great facility all the way around, Travis.
This moto very important in terms of the championship, Brian, as they funnel through to that chicane. Who's fast out there? Number 42, Jimmy Nelson with that second Royal Distributing Hole shot, and number 916, Gray Davenport, privateer in second.
Davenport on a virtually stock bike, but that Blackfoot Honda is known in the pits as a rocket ship. Kyle Beat now, 33 on the Toyota Yamaha, gets a great start, Travis. He's in third. And how about NorCal? Just great off the gate here.
The original in fourth, and I think we look back to number 145 is that Brock Hoyer in fifth place, so a great start for Brock. But how about Jimmy Nelson out of the gate? Oh, a little angle shot to the side there, Brian. Looks like Davenport has got the lead.
He sure does. What a heads-up move. Jimmy just settling in. This happened to him in the first moto as well. I don't think he's too worried right now. Just kind of watching. You know, sometimes it's easier to follow, but you know, the roost out here is punishing. So, might be in Jimmy's best interest to make a move quick.
Back to the Scott Lockoff cams. We see the boys funnel through. A great start for number 33, Kyle Beaton. Didn't get that in the first moto. Let's see if he can battle up into this lead pack right now. Jimmy Nelson on the inside, coming up to the FMF right-hander. Let's see the lines. Oh, carrying speed is Davenport. This kid's got ball tires, Brian, and look at him rocking through the whoops.
I tell you, the privateer's budget, you cannot afford new tires every moto. And this track certainly destroys a knobby. And you can bet that Jimmy Nelson's got a brand new skin on his bike.
Little slide out for Davenport. You see the way that Jimmy Nelson came underneath on that split course, Brian. I like the inside better. Davenport squirrely on the inside. Does he have it? Jimmy Nelson carrying speed, now in first place.
Jimmy had his eyes open there and his throttle open as well. Here's a replay. Look at Jimmy just working it. Takes the inside of that split course. Gray Davenport gets a little sideways coming into it, but Nelson just gets that power delivered into the Nanaimo soil and makes a great drive. Now Travers, the danger man, 33, Kyle Beaton in third.
I love that outside line, carrying a lot of speed through that left-hander. But you know what, Brian? Kyle Beaton's got to make the move now, or else he's going to get hung up. How about this, number 181, Michael Slater with a problem. He's got number 38, Julian Cerny, privateer effort, and one of the older guys in the series in his sights.
Cerny, a two-time top privateer in the MX1 class here in Canada, also a gold medalist at the ISDE in Europe, so he's an enduro rider, but he knows how to twist the throttle on a motocross track.
Beaton on the inside, coming into that whoop section. Look at Davenport carry speed as he rocketed out of that corner. He's got that inside line. Beaton does not look smooth. Look at Davenport on the gas, Brian. That kid is lightning fast.
It's all about who lands on the last whoop to get the traction down. It's just a tenth of a second difference there. Beaton actually skipped the last one where Davenport landed right on it, was able to get the power to the ground, sneaks by for second, so a war wage in there. Now, Sleater with his mitts full of Cerny, and Cerny, the guy's about 6'4", and he's out there on a 250F.
To the battle for fourth. Oh, my mare carrying a lot of speed and gets that drive over the jump. Slips by NorCal on the inside, Brian. Riders, oh no, number 32, Kevin Johnson is down. I was saying riders that want to commit to that jump will make a pass.
Not a great weekend for Johnson. Another soil sample there. Beaton's got his eye on Davenport, but Mayer has his eye on Beaton. He is the Yamaha in a Kawasaki sandwich. Nice aggressive inside move by Mayer. Oh, he gets a little hung up on that acceleration bump. Beaton safe for now.
The battle for six is raging. Eric 9, number 514, who finished third in the first moto, carrying speed on the outside. NorCal dropping back, Brian. That shoulder's got to be bothering him.
Well, NorCal from Northern California. Nye's from Northern California also, so they know each other well. They have raced each other many, many times. Beaton still keeps keeps Mayer at bay. Davenport safe for now, through the rockers, up by the mechanics section. The Yamaha gets the power down this time. Mayer still having a peek up the inside, into the split course. Wow, are they ever carrying speed, Travers? A very gnarly fast section. Beaton riding awesome today. Loving it, but he got the start this time. We'll see if he can hang on to it.
Little bobble didn't carry speed through that corner. Number 28, Teddy Mayer, moves into third place. Right, again, this track is so fast. You cannot believe how fast they are riding, especially when you're down beside it, and they just blow by you. Look at coming through the sweeper. 181, Michael Sleater, as he blows Cerny out of the way and moves into 10th place. And there's Bart Stevenson, number 48.
Wow, Cerny has been the agitator in this moto for Sleater big time. Great to see that privateer Canadian kid hanging with Sleater, who's also a KTM USA test rider. He's tested all the 07s right now, so a real interesting character in Sleater.
Mayer on the outside of Davenport for second place, a little more speed in the whoops. He's got Jimmy Nelson in his sights. Oh, just outside of the top 10. Number 299, Vincent Israel, brother of Jeremy Israel, with 711 Como looking back.
Como, that's Davenport's traveling buddy. Great to see him in there. Look at the speed on Nye in Berlin. That is for fourth. Nye takes it away. You know, Nye, a very likable character, came up here with an open mind, an open attitude. He's having fun so far. Right now, Mayer, the dominator right now in the whoops, takes over the point position. And like we mentioned, Mayer is the best follower in the business. Now let's see if he can hang on to the lead.
Look out, Cerny! Julian Cerny with a moment in the whoops. That big tough man on that bike.
Can't get enough.
A little bit of English on the bike to get back going.
Can't get enough of the enduro ride, guys.
Loving that stuff. Back to our lead, Brian, 28 out front. That's Mayer. Oh, Jimmy Nelson, beautiful up over that big floater jump. As we get back to third place, look at Eric Nye through the whoops. This kid doesn't mind this part of the track. Look at Beaton on the outside as Nye slips by with that lapper in the way.
The lapper kind of, I think, caused Beaton a second. And again, he didn't land perfectly on the last whoop, and that is all the difference. Nelson now looks very strong. Look at them skipping in, under braking. Both bikes skittering simultaneously in sync there, just showing how hard these guys are trying. They are pulling out all the stops. And I tell you what, folks at home, it takes so much strength and concentration to ride like that. Unbelievable athleticism in this sport.
Number 611, Brady Sharon, looking good now, Brian. That guy's just trying to stay healthy in this MX2 West. Back to our lead, number 28, Teddy Mayer. Look at the Lions coming into this right-hander. Mayer slips wide. Looks like Nelson on the inside. Does he have another bobble for Mayer? And Nelson is in first place.
Mayer's been struggling with that Yamaha corner all day. That is where he threw the lead away in the first one, Travers. And I think he was just trying to be safe here. Here he is. I think he's taking the middle line. He had trouble on the inside. Jimmy cuts over at the last second. Both hard on the brakes right here. Jimmy leans in, gets the power down. So does Teddy, but Teddy's foot hits the ground, and it might just stifle his momentum slightly. A brilliant pass by Nelson.
Stone Ridge KTM rider number 514, Eric Nye, getting his last lap flag in fourth place right now, Brian, as we look at our leader, number 42, Jimmy Nelson, who is all about the English on his final approach, getting ready to take his second checker flag in a clean sweep here in Nanaimo.
Nelson power shifts his way to his first ever clean sweep on Canadian soil. Well-deserved. Blackfoot, Honda, and Fox have to be proud of this rider right now. The monkey lifted off his back. Oh no, Teddy Mayer with a bike issue. He was solid in second. Done.
You're as fast as blazes, buddy. What happened out there? Talk to us.
I just came up here. I knew I could ride decent. I've rode with Jimmy before, and I knew he was going to be a front runner. So came out, tried to get a best start I could. I actually pulled a decent start that second moto, and I was actually battling with Jimmy. Got around him for a minute and was running his pace. Felt good, but Mayer got by me, and those two started checking out a little bit, and I just tried to ride a solid ride.
MX2 Moto2, what a great race. Nye inherits third with Mayer's problems. But how about Sleater, Hoyer, Cerny, and Brady Sharon rounding out the top 10? Great battling for them.
My bike started to lose power. Like right after I passed him, it started to kind of get slower and slower and slower. And then it started to sputter like on the 3 laps to go, 4 laps to go. And I didn't know what it was, but I don't know, I think maybe a head gasket or something. And I don't know. I'm sure he'll have a bad moto too, but I don't know. Just had to try to win every race after this, and I still got a chance.
There's your top 3 MX2 West first round here in Nanaimo. MX1 coming up.
Like you said, I went to Florida all winter just for 9 races in Canada. You know, I went down there and started training and riding and testing and doing everything and, you know, racing and everything. But, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm down there getting ready for 9 races in Canada. And then for something to happen, you know, 2 weeks before the first round, it killed me. You know, I just put everything I had into this season, and I was really riding well and in the best shape I've ever been in, and I felt really good coming into this year. And, you know, now I've just sat on my butt for 6 weeks and done nothing.
Brian Coster and Mark Travers in the booth for the final moto of the day, and this MX1 moto will be brought to you by Answer Racing Apparel. Good shot of the boys from behind, just finished their parade lap, and Rockin' Randy Hall with the Frankenstein 30 up.
I tell you, there is a lot of talent on this starting line. When you see the names, man, no wonder our racing is so intense. And the gate is down, Travers.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, looks like John Sebastian Waugh powers his way to the Royal Distributing hole shot. Yes, he does. Flat in tow. And there's Lange and Fasciati. Honda Kawasaki battle.
Seems like a KTM up there, number 26, and a Suzuki in number 2 in Gavin Grayson.
And Dubé's lurking there as well. Big power slide for Klatt out the outside in the loose stuff. Look at him change trajectory in midair with the body weight. Beautiful, but Darcy Lange right now has got to be feeling it. He's got Waugh there, and he's looking ahead. I don't think he's going to leave the inside open like he did last time with Klatt behind him.
Look at the big quad choke down into the valley. That's the beer garden corner. Lange with the inside line. I like that line better. Looks like Klatt's having some problems, but that kid is all about the mojo, Brian. Let's see his attack as he comes up on Lange for second.
He sure is in attack mode.
Whoa!
Waugh had the breakaway speed last year. With the whole shot, no one could touch him. We're going to see what happens here in Nanaimo. Remember last year, this is where Dusty Klatt swapped moto wins with Waugh, so we know Waugh is no slouch out here.
Good shot of the boys funneling through in that Scott Lockoff cam to the leaders. Brian Klatt looks like he's freight training a little bit. Oh, Lange with a bobble. Watch Klatt for the inside line. Oh my, side by side down into that rollers coaster section to the finish line.
Great recovery for Darcy, but not quite enough there. He got some wheel spin. Klatt right now in second place with his eyes on the champ right now. And I tell you, Klatt can do no wrong on the motorcycle. It seems he's making less mistakes than anybody else. But Jean-Sebastian Waugh in control right now. Pair of Cowies right there. Then we've got the KTM of Barnes. Homans makes a quick move. Grayson gets around Dubé coming out of the FMF whoop section. And just look at the throttle, and our cameraman gets a face full of roost there.
Here's that pass, Brian. Watch when Lange is coming through. He gets that wheel spin that you talked about. Great save, but Klatt immediately on the inside. A little bit of English from him as well.
Just makes it inside that Cowie hay bale. Oh. I love the recovery for Darcy from that. He just says, look, Klatt, you ain't getting it that easy. But right now, it is Jean-Sebastian Waugh, I think, is the rider that has to have eyes in the back of his head.
It's like you were saying before on this track, it's like slot car racing. They're in, they're out, down on their sides. As we get to the FMF rollers, Klatt right behind Waugh. You don't want to follow here. Who's the smoother, Brian? Oh, Waugh with a problem. Klatt on the outside. This is for the lead. Great gas for Waugh. But look at Klatt on the inside. Does he have first place? Yes, he does.
What a sweet crisscross move there by Dusty Klatt to take control. Teammates, but I tell you what, Klatt is not showing much respect for the champ this 2006 outdoor season. Oh. But JSR responds up the inside, getting the power of that 450 down. Now these bikes are equally prepared. Klatt takes him back on the outside, so we got some bar-to-bar action here. Second moto in Nanaimo.
Brian Klatt was carrying so much speed over that riser. Waugh got on the binders earlier as they hit into that quad section. Great line for Klatt. Looks like he's got some defense going, but Waugh's on the inside. Look at on the line, on the gas. Dusty Klatt holding strong in first right now.
JSR just decimating that berm on the inside. He is not giving up on his teammate. Look at the attack mode of both these riders. Waugh, so stylish, but Klatt mimicking his style off the inside. It's just a matter of the outside becomes the inside becomes the outside with all these Aspen-type bends out here on the track. And we can see Lange, he's picked up a hay bale cover.
You could tell Waugh was giving it everything he had in there, Brian. Let's go back to a couple of those passes first through the whoops.
Waugh just gets a little bobble, not much, but I like the way Klatt can redirect himself and just cuts to the outside. Waugh hears him, says, I'm gonna drift wide to protect that line, and then Dusty just knifes in on the gas, cuts around to the outside and just lays it in. But Waugh, one corner later, takes the inside, out jumps Dusty here by a fraction and has the advantage. Look at the riding style, both fingers on the levers, and Dusty just soaks it up on the outside. Again, Klatt takes over the point position from our 5-time champion, Wah. The writing could be on the wall. I don't know, that's arguable at this point.
It looked to me like corner speed through that little transition section there, Brian. Dusty Klatt was much faster coming in and out of the corners, and we are back to Graysick, Barnes, and Dubé. Oh my, Marco Dubé in the outside. Yeah. Does he have Barnes?
That's what I'm laughing about. Dubé slingshotting from the outside of every corner. Watch this in this moto. He's gonna go wide. Every time, goes wide. But when you go wide, there's great traction there, so you can really get the knobbies to grab a hold. And look at him, he just slinging shotting, getting by his teammate there to the inside. And you can see the shiny spots on this track. Where it's shiny, it is like ice underneath. Michael Willard now, from a bad start, number 15 on the KTM, takes care of Kyle Keystone Machine Honda. Willard rode so well in the first photo, his results not indicative of the way he rode, but he got a much better start this time.
Graysick in 6th, he's got Dubé on his haunches. Look at this, I love the options coming in here, Brian. Lots of places to go. Dubé carrying speed. Oh, and he rockets through in that KTM. These guys have been going at it all day long, Brian, and I love this kind of stuff. Dubé is all elbows. Graysick coming back in the mix after that ankle injury the first round of St. Julie.
I just love Graysick's style. He's not giving up here. He's not 100%, but Dubé, when he gets his mind set on something, you gotta stay out of his way. Graysick knows Dubé's characteristics.
Look at
Huge launch by Graysick. He has the advantage. Of course, Dubé's on the outside. Backs off a bit there, has a nice calm landing, but the race isn't over yet. We're gonna keep our eye on that battle. Back to the KJs. Both riders named Keith Johnson. 111 is Albuquerque Keith. Takes control of Suzuki right now. That is for 10th place. But the inside now belongs to number 4. That is KJ.
Oh, coming into your living room, number 9, Dusty Klatt in first place. Oh, and there's the champ with a great line through that quad section down into the beer garden. About 8 seconds behind right now, Brian.
You can see JSR kicking a little debris off his boot in midair. A great time to make some adjustments in flight. They can adjust the clutch, get a bit of a breather as well. Homans, Simon Homans racing Yamaha in 5th right now. Back to the wicked duel, Travers. This is 6th, and look at Dubé on those outside lines. And he does the same thing that Graysick did to him last lap. And Dubé on the outside again, just hauling the mail on that 450 Katoon.
Graysick did not commit into that jump, and you knew Dubé was going to do it regardless of where Graysick was. Oh, Graysick on the inside. Oh, and they're banging bars all over the place. We talked about how tough Dubé is on the track to pass, and Graysick is feeling it right now.
Ooh, that's a scary moment when your bars hit. These trained professionals can deal with it. Back to 15, Michael Willard making the pass for 10th, and that's Albuquerque Keith relegated to 11th. Loving Willard on the big bike, man. He rides it well.
John Sebastian Waugh getting his last lap flag in 2nd place. Brian looks like he's cooled it down a little bit. He's going to take the points. Smart move for the championship. Oh, Darcy Lange with a smooth one over the quad into the beer garden. And you know that crowd is cheering for him in 3rd place.
You can hear them all around the track. Blair Morgan makes an aggressive move and tags Graysick. This is for 7th. And I tell you, Blair Morgan, a real gentleman, but on the last lap, forget about it. He will T-bone anybody, regardless of size, shape, or color.
Number 9, Dusty Klatt, our leader, on his final approach, Brian. This is for the clean sweep in the MX1 class. This will be 4 moto wins in a row for this young fella, and he looks all about it right now. He's all business with the arms up in the air, taking the checkered flag.
Using every bump to his advantage today on this beautifully prepped Nanaimo track. Hats off to Dusty Klatt with the sweep.
Oh, the Nanaimo MX Club doing a great job with track prep and supporting us for a great day of racing for round 3. Let's get to our top 10. 2nd MX1 Moto. How about going down to Homans in 6th, Morgan in 7th, and Ryan Lockhart rounding out the top 10.
JSR there, oh, we had a good battle going there for, we passed each other back twice, so, that was good, and I was glad we could put on, a good race at the start, and felt good to be able to get in front, and, man, the roost is so battled there, it hurts. And I just hate being behind and that stuff, so I just wanted to get up in front as fast as I could, and it worked out good.
Yeah, the roots, you're right, Brian. The roots is it's killing. It's like someone throwing rocks at you for half an hour. So, and the track it's a lot different. There's clay mixed with shells and rocks. It's really, really slick. You have to be really smooth on the throttle. Those 450 are really fast. And with a concrete start, we warm up the tire on the gate, and then we take the edge of the tire. So it's quite difficult to ride that track for
30 minutes.
How about the crowd up there, Darce, up at the top? Every time you came around, they were going totally out of their mind. Did you hear them?
Yeah, for sure. You know, right up by the beer garden is where everyone's cheering. So it pumps you up. You know, it's great to be back on the outdoor circuit, and you know, I just want to keep moving forward every race, and hopefully by the end of it, be up there battling with those guys.
To the MX2 West leaderboard after 1 of 4 rounds, Jimmy Nelson looking great out in front. I like those pair of Americans in second and third, Kyle Beaton on the outside, and Michael Sleater looking in.
After 3 of 4 rounds with the big boys, MX1, Klatt is showing his dominance. Waugh right there, and Darcy is making things interesting. Always a great day out on the island. I want to thank James and Bart and all the guys from the Nanaimo Motocross Club. Be sure to tune in to MXPMag.com. Click on Canadian Motocross Radio for post-race coverage.
You have been watching the 2006 Canadian Motocross Championships, brought to you by Motovan.com, Royal Distributing, Canada's power sports leader, and Kodiak Boots. For Mark Stallybrass, Ryan Gould, and Brian Coster, I am Mark Travers. Hey, we'll see you next week in Calgary.